Hello everybody, Disciple here with Hearthstone Curios. Kazakus is one of the most notorious cards in Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, second maybe only to Patches in the huge impact that it's made in the standard format. The variety of potions that you can create, as well as the power level of some of the abilities, makes Kazakus insanely strong, and he single-handedly made Reno decks jump a few tiers across the board. But Kazakus wasn't always the same card that we know and love. In an interview with IGN, one of the devs revealed a lot of different design changes they made with Kazakus, so we thought we'd take a look at some of those today. Let's dive right in. So how did the devs get the initial idea for Kazakus? Well, Kazakus actually came about while the devs were trying to figure out the ability for Ink Master Solia. Since Solia is a tattoo artist, the devs thought that she would be pretty good at creating magical scrolls as well, and so her effect became something that let you create your own spell on a scroll. The devs liked the idea of creating your own spell a ton, and it played super well in testing, so they decided to give that ability to the leader of the Cabal as well. Okay, but Kazakus makes potions, not scrolls, so how did that end up happening? Well, around the time they decided that Kazakus should create his own spell, the devs were also trying to decide on faction mechanics for the Cabal. They decided to give the legendaries the no duplicates effect similar to Reno Jackson, but they also decided that just the legendaries having these mechanics wasn't enough, and they needed some kind of additional mechanic both for gameplay and flavor reasons. Another mechanic that Blizzard was experimenting with at the time was potions, and so they decided that potions would be another one of the Cabal's mechanics, and that Kazakus would make a potion that worked the same way as the Scrolls ability they had originally designed for Ink Master Solia. According to Mike Donay, one of the developers, creating the potions ended up being a lot simpler than players might think, but there were still a lot of things that got changed, so let's take a look at them. Initially, the potions had all the same effects that they do now, plus a Thought Steal effect and another unnamed effect that both ended up getting cut. The idea was that the potion could do anything that any of the classes in the Cabal could do. It summoned a demon like Warlocks, did AoE damage like Mage, buffed and resurrected like Priest, etc. The only potion ability that didn't come straight from the classes was gaining armor instantly, but Mage does have Ice Barrier that does gain them armor, and the devs decided that it was a nice desperation option to include in those potions for waiting for things like Reno Jackson. The only ability that actually changed significantly while it was being designed was the Polymorph one. Initially, it polymorphed 1 minion for 1 mana, 2 minions for 5, or all minions for 10. Now this would be way too OP at the 1 and 5 mana potion slots, so they ended up changing it to polymorphing a random minion, either yours or your opponent's, at 1 mana, and a random enemy minion at 5. This was a lot more balanced, but having polymorph on a 1 mana spell was still pretty insane, even if it was random and could affect your own minions, so the 1 mana polymorph option got taken out and we ended up with the Kazakus that we know and love today. So those are some of the things that Kazakus could have been. But I'm curious what you guys think about the card. Do you like how he is now, or do you wish they would have taken him in a different direction? Anyway, that's going to be it from me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.